finna give y'all a guide on how to properly build your CPN, how to properly build a profitable CPN. The only thing is, it just takes more patience. It takes more patience, tiny bit of leg work. You know, you got to be able to invest in this. This is one of those things where you have to be okay with investing in the CPN because you know on the back end what come with it. You feel me? And when you know how to leverage credit and you know how to, get access to a shitload of it, it's like you can't lose. And then it's like, nigga, imagine if you just think about it like this, and this is just on obviously on a smaller spectrum, but let's say you know how to get access to a $5,000 credit card on one CPN, which is very simple because we all know that credit cards is no doc, is no doc, so it's basically you're gonna get approved based off of your credit worthiness. And when you know how to build your profile the right way, that's not a problem. So let's say you know how to get access to a $5,000 credit card and you make 10 CPNs at the same time and you build them simultaneously. You feel me? Again, a lot of people don't have the right information or have the right methods and know what the fuck they're doing. So enough yapping. I feel like I did enough yapping. Um, let's start with the CPN requirements. So the first thing you need is a cheap phone, or it don't got to be a cheap phone, but you need to have a phone for your profile. Not no apps and shit. Like go to Best Buy, go to Walmart, get you a track phone. Boom. That's step number one. Step number two is you need to make sure that you have a physical ID because it's 2025, bro. You need to be able to verify yourself. And the way that you're gonna get verified by any bank or whatever is you have to have an ID. But not just any ID, it has to be scannable. All right. It needs to be able to scan. So if you if you create a CPN that is under your name and your date of birth and it just has a different address, yada yada yada, right? You can use your real ID because it's a real ID. You got your name, date of birth on it, right? Cool. If you wanted to use synthetic information, then you have to make sure that you got a source, which you can hit me on Telegram if you don't, but you need to make sure you have a source to where you can get these supporting documents if you need them. You're gonna need a physical ID. So you feel me? Now, decoding your CPN number. You want to go to Steve Morris. This is very simple. Go to Steve Morris. Let's say you live in New York, right? I'm going to click on New York. And then you can see that all New York social security numbers, they start at 050 and end at 134. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to think of a random, any number in between those numbers that I want to use as my CPN, right? So I'm going to use 088. Okay. Now you're going to choose a random two numbers, any random two numbers you want. And the goal is if it says it was issued, you don't want to use it. So you want to choose another two that wasn't issued. Okay. So you can see that these five numbers right here, not issued. So I'm going to copy that. Let's go back to our guide. We're going to head to ssncheck.org. We're going to verify the SSN. We're going to paste this. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a random four numbers. It literally does not matter. So I'm going to just 4833. And you'd hit verify SSN. And the goal is, this is what you want to see. You want to see that it's invalid and that we have no record of this. Now, this is your new CPN that was issued in New York. The next thing that you have to do is attach it to your profile. All you got to do. So, let's say, for example, my name is Danny Stratford. My date of birth is this. And then the CPN number that we just created, this is where we're going to put that. That's going to be our new CPN number. All right. Now, for address, it's very simple. You ideally, at some point, you want to have control over the mail, right? Like you want to be able to get the credit card. So you can either you can either use because you can either use an address that you have access to that obviously isn't your address, but maybe a friend or a family member or whatever, or I'll pay you or whatever the case may be. You can go that route. But in the beginning it really doesn't matter. That's just something that you got to figure out. But it doesn't really matter in the beginning. So if you don't have an address in mind at the moment, you can literally just go on Google or something, and I'm gonna just type in New York houses for sale. New York houses for sale. And then you will literally pick a random fucking address like this. You will pick a random address and attach that shit to your profile. And that'll just be the address that'll initially be attached, right? But again, later down the line, you can obviously change it and you can use a mailing address, etc. But this is just to initially create the credit profile. You can go that route if you don't have an address um on hand. So that's how you do that. This is how you structure your profile. Try merging. This is very important. A lot of people I've seen the stupid shit. Trust me, I've seen the dumb shit. I've seen people apply for a million things and get a million inquiries for no reason. Try merging is basically having a credit profile with each of the credit bureaus. You can do that obtaining one hard inquiry. Okay? You don't need a million. So one of the cards that I like to use is the Capital One Venture because you obviously need to have an excellent score to um to get approved. So that hard inquiry is hitting all three bureaus. And once you've done that, you want to wait 1, 2, 3 days, and you'll be able to open up a Credit Karma. I guarantee you. All right, and you successfully have created a CPN. Clap it up. Clap it up. You have a blank CPN. It does not stop there. Now you have to build that CPN. You have to add primary trade lines to it, authorize users to it. You got to juice it up. Once you juice it up, now you can get access to credit. You feel me? That's just how it goes. It's nothing really complicated when you really just think that, bro. This is all this is just another person, basically, right? It's just another person. Just the same way that you will go about getting a credit card, the same way you do with a CPN, the same way, you feel me? So you can use these CPs, bro, leverage them to, what I mean, do what you got to do. I'm giving y'all a real game, real game. Now, if y'all need access to, you know, if y'all need access to primary trade lines, if y'all need access to authorized users, if y'all need access to, IDs, things of that nature, you can download the full guide in the description, okay? Or you can hit me up on Telegram, send me a message. I can help you even further. I help people with this all the time, man. Like I really want to see people win. That's why I be like making these type of videos and shit like that. But don't ever believe that like this shit will ever be dead. It won't be dead no time soon. It may you may have to put a little bit more time into it. You may have to invest into it. But the ones that understand it, they living their best life. They making a killing, you know. So again, appreciate all the support. Um, all the new subscribers, everybody that just show any type of support. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all in the next video.